People are waking up, and it's about time. Donald Trump, once paraded as some unstoppable political legend, is finally facing the reality he's been sprinting from. America isn't buying the myth anymore. That victory lap fantasy after 2024, the chest thumping like the nation crowned him king of culture. Please, deep down, everyone knew that was make-believe, a story he told himself because nobody else would. And now the cracks are so wide, even his loudest former disciples are pretending they never had the merch. Faces that once defended him like he was the second coming. Yeah, those folks are suddenly stunned to discover he's, brace yourself, a criminal. Joe Rogan just launched a flamethrower of a take that's blowing up the internet, and the fallout is messy, humiliating, and only getting louder. But let's not rush, because this eruption didn't come out of thin air. It all circles back to Trump's grotesque, morally bankrupt, blatantly illegal ICE antics. These weren't policies, they were cruelty dressed up as leadership, vindictive decisions unleashed without shame or strategy. And they've backfired so spectacularly that even die-hard MAGA loyalists are ducking for cover. Jasmine Crockett didn't just criticize the chaos, she cracked the whole thing open. The ICE abuses, the dripping hypocrisy anytime Epstein's name surfaces, the avalanche of backwards, wildly unpopular legislation bulldozing through Congress like nobody will notice. She laid the truth out with surgical precision, and the clip speaks for itself.
I want to make sure that I enter this UC, which is one of the reasons that we are a bit skeptical of any immigration, quote unquote, enforcement laws that y'all are trying to pass. This UC is from The Guardian. It says immigrants with no criminal record now largest group in ICE detention. You know, I listened to Mr. Van Drew.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. I listened to Mr. Van Drew, who I do respect. And he went on and on and on about how this is about the bad guys. And I will be honest with you and tell you that when it came down to the election, there were a lot of people who really believed that the Republicans and the president were all about getting the bad guys out. People truly believed your words, but your actions are not matching up, because I've got the receipts showing that they are not matching up. And so call us a little paranoid in believing that the hypocrisy may continue to come from across the aisle. Speaking of hypocrisy, I do want to point out, since we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, because we couldn't talk about Epstein before. If y'all recall, we were gone for about 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now everybody wants to act as if they want to have like a real honest conversation about the victims and the survivors and everybody else. Where was this conversation a long time ago? And I know that y'all love to go back and say that Joe Biden didn't do it. You know, Joe Biden is blamed for everything. Joe Biden didn't do anything, and it was Joe Biden's fault, and why wasn't Joe Biden? Joe Biden didn't campaign on it. I just want to be clear. If y'all can run me the tape, then run me the tape. But you know, when you campaign and you go out and you make a promise, then we evaluate whether or not you actually meet your promises. So listen, this was rope that y'all decided to hang yourselves with because the president campaigned on the Epstein files while we were campaigning on things such as affordability. We were campaigning on the things that now people are complaining about, right? Because of the tariffs and the fact that you guys won't say anything and tell the president, hey, sir, tariffs are taxes. We as Republicans, we usually don't like taxes. And guess what? That's gonna make everything unaffordable. So now he's gonna be our big savior, and he is gonna reduce the price of foods because he is the guy that actually increased the price of foods. So listen, if you can have this honest conversation about Epstein now, let's just go ahead with this lame duck president and be honest about everything that the American people care about. They care about affordability. They care about the fact that literally people are starving in this country because we have 42 million people, and I don't remember any one of you during that almost 2-month break deciding to go on faux news or any other news outlet and say, you know what, it is wrong to have 42 million people that are relying on $6 a day to eat, and we have the money.
Here's the brutal truth the polite press is still too scared to whisper. It's not just that Donald Trump is unpopular. It's that the entire MAGA brand is painfully uncool, socially radioactive, the kind of lunch table nobody approaches unless they lost a bet. Remember that early propaganda fantasy? The delusion that young people are getting more conservative and suddenly being a far-right culture warrior was the height of trendsetting? Yeah, because nothing screams edgy and aspirational like Stephen Miller's taxidermy doll vibes, Kristi Noem jet-setting with a face so frozen it needs a defrost cycle, or J.D. Vance looking like he's suffering from a philosophical stomachache. These aren't magnetic personalities. They're not bold leaders. They can't even pull off the entertaining villain role. They're mold, slow, ugly, toxic. The aesthetics alone should have been a red flag. Bizarre AI-looking posts of Trump crowned like a dollar store king, drenched in heavenly bargain bin light, projecting the energy of a cult that can't afford better graphic design. It's unsettling. It's humiliating. And finally, the wider culture is reacting the way you react to a bad smell, instinctively stepping back. That's what Rogan and Theo Von are just now catching on to. Two guys who once smiled through the interview, shared the laughs, acted like being politically adjacent to Trump wasn't inhaling ideological secondhand smoke. Rogan played nice. Von shrugged it off. But now, Von is furious because DHS decided to jack a clip of him for their propaganda playlist, and that's when the veneer cracked. They finally snapped, and with context set, we get to watch both of them unload after DHS posted and then pulled a deportation hype video featuring Von saying, "Heard you got deported, dude, bye," igniting a backlash neither side saw coming.
Dude, they made me the video thing. You see that thing where they put me on the video?
Oh, that was crazy. They didn't even ask you.
Bro, it was really scary for me.
You were just joking around because you were talking to a guy who's his friend. And this was quite a while ago, too, right? When was that video?
Yeah, I don't know. It could have been like a year and a half ago or something. I don't remember. But that was crazy.
But it was
like,
dude, it was a joke,
yeah,
right?
She's like a friend. I don't know if she said a friend of mine got deported. I can't remember what she said. But she's like, "What? Do you have anything to say to him?" Right? And I was like, "Bye." You know?
Yeah.
I'm clowning around. I have no idea if it's real or not. I have no idea.
You have no idea. It's literally someone just handed you a phone. And then Homeland Security, was that what it was?
Yeah, just put it up online. And it was
it
after the
Homeland
Charlie
Security?
Kirk thing. Yeah. And so then I was like super scared, you remember? Yeah. Remember, I was texting like you. I was just texting people to make sure everybody's okay. I didn't know if they were like just going to kill people that had been on TikTok or whatever. Like, I had no idea what they were going to do.
I just can't believe they did that with you, where they just put it in there as if like you were endorsing that.
Well, it just kind of, and it was just a scary time. That was the same time as after the Charlie Kirk thing.
That? Who greenlit that?
Probably just some fucking trap beat
but you know
con
what I'm
artist
saying?
or whatever.
Like if a company did that, you could sue them. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was privatized, like if ICE was a private company and that was the people that the United States hired to get rid of illegal immigrants and they used you, you would sue them. You could sue them.
Well, it was just scary.
But the government can just put that up there. And then what did you do? You had to formally request them taking it down?
Yeah, I had to hire an attorney to get him help to take it down.
How long did it take to take it down?
I think like 48 hours or something. But it had like 30 million views over a couple platforms.
And how many people even know it was taken down until they just heard you say it?
Of course not.
I knew because you told me, but I couldn't believe it. When you first asked me what I should do about this, I was like, it's probably nothing. And I was in the car and I didn't watch it. And then I got to the club. Then I talked to you from the club. And you're like, you didn't see it? I was like, no. And then I saw it. I was like, oh my God. What the fuck are they doing? Like, it's like, that's not how you envisioned the government. The government made a hype video?
Yeah, they were making like deportation hype videos with trap beats and shit. And I was like, what are we doing? That's what I'm saying. Everything is turned into like the WWE. It's none of it's real.
It's 100% that Mike Judge movie. It's Idiocracy.
Oh, Idiocracy, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the million-dollar question. How are they only just now figuring this out? What neuron finally clocked in for its shift? What dusty light bulb finally flickered on? Because honestly, it's exhausting watching the same pattern play out. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene and her entire choir of delayed revelations can't grasp the damage their movement causes until the shrapnel hits their front porch. No empathy, no foresight, just a smoke alarm that only screams once their own curtains are burning. But Rogan and Vaughn do stumble onto one undeniable truth, the sheer loserdom of this government. Not metaphorical loser energy, literal, this is what happens when the high school AV club overthrows the cafeteria energy. These are some of the most insecure people to ever hold power. Fox News threw a meltdown parade because AOC said Stephen Miller was 5'9" instead of 5'10". Imagine needing cable news to publicly defend your extra inch. Trump set the tone on day one, crying about crowd size like a kid devastated his birthday party turnout wasn't Instagram-worthy. That's MAGA at its core, a movement built from the resentment of people who never got invited to the cool table, lugging old grudges and chipped shoulders straight into the West Wing. And now they want the entire country wrapped up in their emotional baggage. But here's the real sting. They can't stand that we don't care about them. We hate the policies, the cruelty, the extremist rot, sure, but the individuals? The worship collage Trump photos, the knockoff tough guy posturing, the cosplay patriotism? It's try-hard theater at its saddest. Even Rogan and Vaughn are finally diagnosing the desperation, the posing, the insecurity, the constant puffing of feathers that never look impressive. This administration isn't just corrupt, it's cringe. Pete Hegseth slapping a Department of War sign on the Pentagon and doing fake pull-ups like a middle-aged influencer having an identity crisis instead of overseeing a multi-trillion-dollar defense budget is peak bad theater, community college Macbeth energy. And we absolutely should be calling it out more because it's not just harmful, it's obnoxious, juvenile, a government role-playing competence chasing approval from one man and still falling flat. And here's the cosmic joke. Debasing yourself for Donald Trump never pays off. Ask Texas. Greg Abbott, the heavyweight loser of the Republican ecosystem, just watched his own gerrymandering stunt detonate in his lap. And the one person who consistently has Trump's number without raising her voice broke it down with surgical calm. Jasmine Crockett. And trust me, you'll want to hear exactly how she dismantled it.
As of maybe an hour ago, if that long, the court in Texas, and I want to tell y'all, this is not some liberal court, like liberal courts in Texas don't even really go together. This was a 2-1 Republican majority court. And what did they say? They said, oh, plaintiffs, y'all want to temporarily enjoin them because, see, the damage will already be done. Those voices would already be diluted by the time we actually can determine whether or not the actual merits of this case make sense. So they decided them lines, they ain't going into effect right now. Not right now. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably gonna have questions about what does this mean for California, that kind of stuff. California has already voted. They have already passed their map. It does not save California because this is still the law. These maps have been signed into law. It's just that the maps won't necessarily go into effect as of right now. Now, we know that they about to run to the Supreme Court and be like, Supremes, help us out. Supremes, we need to serve our master. Hey, hook us up. Now, who knows what the Supreme Court will do, but they are running out of time. Our filing deadline in Texas is on December 8th. So if you know anything about the filings in Texas, we already started filing for these congressional districts. And honestly, most people had not filed their paperwork for a congressional district yet because nobody knew what lines we were running on, whether we were running on the 21 lines or if we were running on these new 25 lines. Well, the court has spoken. The court has said 21 it is.
These guys just keep racking up L after L after L. And honestly, that's the essence of who they are. It's the whole brand, a constellation of weak little planets orbiting the sun of their universe. Donald Trump, who, let's be real, is the flimsier one of the lot. Peel back the bluster, the caps lock bravado, the cardboard tough guy act, and you see exactly what he's always been. A profoundly fragile man pretending he's unbreakable. And it matters that we call it out loud. Bullies shrink when the lights hit them, and fake strongmen collapse the instant applause stops. So yeah, we'll keep pointing it out every single day because the truth is the one thing this crew can't twist into a win. If you're riding with us, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and if you made it all the way here, leave a blue heart in the comments so we know you're still standing in the fight. Keep going, don't let them shut you up. Until next time, I'll see you.